Hello, Nath here again with another Daily Flip. This is number 2 today. I recorded a full one earlier, 25-minute long, and after 12 minutes I need to go up in the computer and put the files together to make one file, because the camera after 4 gigs, so after 4 gig file it needs to make a new file. So and then the files were corrupt. So anyways, today I'll be talking about music. How and what I listened to growing up, and what I'm listening to now, and what I listened to a couple years ago. Anyways, before, I'd like to give a shout out to all my followers on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I'd like to give also all the people that watch my daily flips every day on YouTube, and for all the people who've been following me for years. You guys keep me going. Everyone on Facebook that have been watching these religiously, thanks for the comments, thanks for the likes. You guys are awesome. So, music. So I come from a French family, military family. Went from place to place. So growing up, I didn't really have any older cousins really around. I did, but they were a little bit older. So basically what I listened to was what my parents listened to. My dad was really into kind of soft rock, Fleetwood Mac, Heart, I can't name any right now, but and then my mom was really into French folklore music, so like Celine Dion, Bottine Souriante, very much French music, so I won't really get into that, but but basically I listened to the radio. My first ever bought cassette was Big Shiny Tunes 2. So, the Big Shiny Tunes was a set of discs or CDs or cassettes that were made by Much Music, and they were filled with rock. So they had everything from like Blink-182. They had this Big Shiny Tunes 2 had Matchbox 20, Marilyn Manson, Beautiful People, had Blur, had Prodigy. So it really introduced me to all the rock and roll, and I think that's where my love for rock came from, is from Big Shiny Tunes 2. So back in middle school, high school, when I was developing my taste in music, it was very much rock, but it was very broad. Like, I liked everything from Blink-182, Sum 41 to Metallica, Pantera, Slipknot. I think my first CD was a Slipknot CD. So punk rock was very much, I think my first love for music was punk rock. I listened to, I remember in high school I got introduced to ska. So ska is basically, the way I describe it to people is fast reggae. So it's the same kind of rhythm guitar, but it's made kind of like the rhythm of a punk song with added chrome, so like added brass, so trumpets, trombones, and saxophones. Ska, I'd say, would be my favorite type of music in general. So ska is very positive. It's funny. It's satire. It makes fun of itself. It's never really became mainstream ever. So a lot of the bands are still very, unless you are part of the scene, you don't really know about them, later on I discovered, in middle school it was more pop rock, but as I further went into high school and college, it was punk. So NoFX, Lagwagon, MXPX, just to name a few, Pennywise. Those were very much my main focus. But back in college I got introduced to power metal. So power metal, some people call it dragon metal. Iron Maiden is one of the most known power metal bands. But I was a big fan of Blind Guardian, Gamma Ray, also known as Halloween, before they turned into Gamma Ray. The lead singer, guitarist, started a new band. And Stradivarius. I went to see a bunch of concerts back in high school, so or back in college. So it really got me into power metal. There was one guy I used to work with. He introduced me to power metal. He also introduced me, funny fact, into psychedelic trance, so which is a type of techno, really kind of dark, but very, you know, usually it's like really strong drum bass with a slow going melody and, you know, weird wacky sounds happening all the time, and a change of tempos and like drops, and really like one of the famous is like Infected Mushroom, right? So I'm not very well versed in that, but he used to invite me. He was part of the scene in he was actually a very well-known DJ in the Quebec scene, Papa Shango. Shout out if you're watching this. Doubt it, but still. He introduced me to raves, and I used to go to raves and smoke weed and drink Red Bull, you know, a couple beers, and just go fucking nuts, man. I really learned how to just let myself go and not give a fuck, right? Because these types of raves were kind of low key, you know, in basements and like, you know, in legions, and you know, like basements and like small venues, and they were very much about the music and dancing. So like no one gave a shit. You could just look like a retard, and everyone was fucked up on drugs. And you know, back then I wasn't really into hard drugs at all, and I never really got into hard drugs, thankfully. But I was into weed and booze and Red Bull, and just really just let myself go. In the midst of all that, metal also played a big part of my high school metal years. Pantera, Metallica, Anthrax, Sepultura. I was actually, in high school, I was lead singer of a Sepultura cover band. So we, you know, Chaos AD, Roots Bloody Roots, Godzilla. So we played a couple songs, and you know, we had our own little band. And then after a while, they realized that I was really much more into sports, so they replaced me with another guy that was way more talented than I was. You know, I just screamed into them like, "Roots, bloody roots!" It didn't really sound good, but whatevs. We didn't really care. We're just kids, you know, doing whatever. So basically, my range of music has always been kind of by my mood. I go in on binges, so you know, when I discovered NoFX, like I seriously went, I think I went a year, and that's all I listened to was NoFX. And I still get into big binges where I have it on my phone. I have their whole discography, so I'll just click repeat, shuffle all, and repeat, and just go, and just, you know, sometimes when I'm cleaning, I like listening to NoFX. NoFX is funny because it's not just punk rock, it's also ska, it's also and the lyrics are usually really funny, and they give a message. So if you don't know NoFX and you like kind of, you know, metal, or if you kind of like punk, ska, rock, I check them out. They're a classic. They have their own label. They made their own label because they're sick of. They didn't want to be told what to do. So, you know, when you go on concerts, they always get fucked up, and they have like, they take the summers off. But anyways, nowadays it's really, I've been really into finding music for my videos. So for a while, that's what I was doing, right? So every time I would look for a song, it'd be strictly for my videos. So I went into a dubstep phase, I went into electro swing phase, I went into a, nowadays it's a bit more like chill swing, I like to call it. So new hobby, Grammatic. So it's very much kind of like good bass, good beats, and then mildly slow melody, and you know, sometimes a bit of lyrics. I discovered Logic last year. Funny enough, I discovered Logic through ultimate frisbee highlight video, and I just fell in love with the song Fade Away, and then I was just like, shit, this song, this artist is wicked. And then so I downloaded his whole discography, and he released a new album recently. And so anyways, Logic is really good. One of my favorite artists. You know, white, black kid. You know, it's kind of always about race, but he's still really good. He's getting really popular now. He's getting on mainstream radio, so it's cool to see. I've been kind of into trap lately, which is kind of embarrassing, but like Nav is one of my. I just downloaded Nav's 2 albums and really enjoying Nav, but a lot of trap is just garbage. Like most trap is garbage, but I find some trap songs are enjoyable to listen to. I'd say about a dozen. All right, I'm not saying I like trap, because a lot of it's not good, because a lot of it is just and you know, if that triggers you, sorry, but to me that's what it sounds like. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, like I married a Newfoundlander, and when I was in the Navy, Newfoundland music was very popular in the Navy, just because it's very much about sailing and all that stuff. So I got into Newfie tunes. I also like listening to French folk music, like old school French music, or new school folk music, Cowboy Fringant. I can name a few, but anyways, it's about to fit 4 gigs. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you like to listen to, and see you tomorrow.